Thank you for plugging into this Family Life News podcast, streaming issues-driven, family-focused news.
This is Faith Under Fire. Each Thursday on Family Life, we give voice to religious battlegrounds in this nation. I'm your host, Tracy Lynn. With us today, Logan Spena, legal counsel with Alliance Defending Freedom. The preferred pronoun saga continues throughout America, yet we've just seen a win for a professor in Ohio 4 years after an incident at Shawnee State. Would you explain?
Certainly. So Dr. Nicholas Meriwether is a professor at Shawnee State University in Portsmouth, Ohio, and he's been there for something like 25 years. And he's a philosophy professor, so he understands probably better than anybody that words carry important meaning. One of his students asked to be referred to with names and titles that were inconsistent with that student's sex. And Dr. Meriwether is unwilling to communicate the message that a person is a man or a woman simply because they identify as a man or a woman. So Dr. Meriwether politely refused and just referred to that student by last name. Well, this wasn't good enough for the university, who decided that they wanted to force Dr. Meriwether to express their view on the topic, and so they punished him for that. Dr. Meriwether brought suit, and fortunately, the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals held that the university's attempt to compel him to speak their message violated his First Amendment rights.
Yeah, wow. So the university disciplined him originally after this incident and eventually put a written warning in Meriwether's personnel file and threatened further corrective actions. The win comes with that, whopping settlement, but what's the bigger message for this professor and people from all walks of life when it comes to our free speech?
The bigger message is that the First Amendment protects us from the government's attempts to force any of us to speak its preferred message. When it comes to professors in particular, the court recognized that universities are supposed to be the marketplace of ideas. They're supposed to be the place, if there's any place, where you're allowed to express controversial ideas without fear of government sanction. In this case, the court rightly found that all of us, but especially professors here in this case, have the right to be free from that kind of attempt to compel ideological conformity that occurs when the government forces us to use words, especially pronouns, to refer to people in a way that violates our conscience.
Yeah, excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners about this case or free speech or just speaking the truth?
Yeah, sure. So, I think this particular topic is one where it's so important to have courage. Right now, there are cultural forces that are trying to make us pay an enormous price for saying something as simple as a man is a man based on his biology, or that a woman is a woman based on her sex. And what we need more than ever now are people who are willing to stand up and say that that's not true. And it turns out that when you do that, you're not alone, and the law is on your side. And if you need help on that front, you should contact us at adflegal.org.
That's ADF's Logan Spena. I'm Tracy Lynn, Family Life News.